Welcome everybody. Let us talk about the Selenium hybrid framework. Well, before I start off with the hybrid framework, let us assume that a client comes to you and tells you to automate few test cases and build a framework, a hybrid framework. Then you would obviously want to build a Maven project so that everybody actually is very clear about the versions of softwares you are using. Okay, so obviously you should be having some objectives when the client comes to you. So I'm noting down all the objectives over here. Right. Now, apart from Maven project, the client will give you multiple test cases. You want to batch run these test cases together. Right. Or you would also want to optionally run the test cases. That is, out of say 100 test cases, you just want to run 40 or 30, right? Or maybe just your smoke tests or sanity tests and all, right? Apart from that, you should be having a proper report generation, right? What do you mean by reports? By reports, I mean we should be having proper HTML reports. HTML reports should have logs and should have screenshots in them. For example, this is a sample HTML report. It's known as the extent report. Alright, it's got the detailed description of what happened at every moment when the test was running, and if there is a failure, it has also put up the screenshot in the reports. Okay, apart from this, you would also want to have generic and application keywords. Now, what are these? I will discuss about these in some times. These are there in the hybrid framework. Okay, then your data, you should not hard code your data in the test cases. You should be reading your data from maybe an Excel file, maybe a JSON file, or YML or properties file. Wherever you want to, you should be able to read the data from these sources. Fine. Now, when you run the test cases, some of the test cases might fail. The client might tell you that you have to run the failed test cases. So these are all the things you have to cater to while making the hybrid framework. And moreover, there should be reusability in the framework. If you have 100 test cases already implemented and the client gives you another 5 test cases, then you should be able to incorporate those 5 test cases very easily. It should not be that you are taking the same amount of time. Your project should be scalable very easily. And this can only happen when you have made reusable functions and all inside the framework. And it should be easy to change. I've seen many times people making frameworks. Technically they make it wrongly, and when some change request comes up, it really becomes very difficult to manage the change. Okay. Moreover, you have to implement Selenium Grid in this. What is Grid? Grid is something which will help you run the test cases parallelly so that you can save time, or you can run on different operating systems. You run the test cases across a network. So that's what is required when you are building the hybrid framework. You should make the hybrid framework from the very beginning in such a way that implementation of Grid is easy. You have to cater to Grid from the very beginning. What generally happens is that client comes and tells you that fine, these are 1500 test cases, please automate. You automate them. It takes you 2 months to automate those test cases. After 2 months, the client says that fine, run them on Grid. And then you realize that you haven't actually made them in a way that they can be executed on Grid. So that creates a problem. Fine. So you have to implement Selenium Grid and you have to take care of it from the very beginning. Then you have to implement Jenkins. Jenkins will help you in basically continuous integration, so that when a team collaborates into a project, there is nothing wrong which goes on the Git. Okay. And moreover, the reports which we generate, you have to email those reports to the client as well. That is also required. Okay. And yes, the most important thing, in companies you have got different environments like UAT environment, SAT, production. All right. Then you have post production. Every environment is different. Your script should be able to run on all the environments with minimum changes. Okay, so what we do is that we make a properties file for different environments, and we run the hybrid framework on different environments with the help of properties files. So how do you do all these things? All right, let me just take up an example that in hybrid framework, to start with, we have got keywords. Fine, over here I have the keywords sheet in which I have different test cases mentioned over here, and this is the keyword column, object column, proceed on fail, and data column. Now what do these do? Taking a very simple example of a test case like delete portfolio test. It starts with the keyword known as open browser. Open browser is a generic keyword. There are two types of keywords in hybrid framework. Okay, there are two types of keywords. One are the generic keywords. These keywords are common for all the websites. These are the generic interactions which you do on the browser, like you open the browser, you navigate to some URL on the browser, you click somewhere on the browser, you type something in the text field, you select a value from a drop down. So these are some generic keywords. And then we have got application dependent keywords as well. Application dependent keywords are for that particular application. For example, a keyword like validate login. This will validate the login on the application, but it will be specific to the application, right? Okay, so that those keywords are over here. That is, I open the browser. This is a generic keyword. I navigate. Where do I navigate? I navigate to some URL. I'll tell you what this URL is in some time. But first, let me tell you that the next keyword is login keyword. This is application dependent keyword. Okay, so we have got different types of keywords, and when the test case starts, the delete portfolio test starts, our Java code in Eclipse, okay, this is my framework over here. Our Java code over here in Eclipse, for example, add delete stock. This is delete portfolio test. Hold on. Yeah, portfolio test. This is my delete portfolio test in my as a test-ng test case. Over here, when this particular test case starts, it will start executing the keywords for itself. It will read the data from the Excel file. It will read one cell at a time. If the keyword is open browser, it will open the browser. If the keyword is navigate, it will navigate corresponding to this URL. This URL is defined inside our properties file. As I told you that you have got different properties file for different environments. This is uat.properties file. This is for UAT environment. That this is the URL of the UAT environment. If I am running on production, then this is production environment properties file. That this is the URL of production environment. So what you need to do is that you just need to go to your environment.properties file. There are different properties file. One of the properties file is environment.properties. In this you set up the environment as production. So the production.properties file will be read. And the URL, which is mentioned over here, the key, it is also mentioned over here. That particular URL will be read. Okay, so you select what do you select? You select a value from certain drop down, or you click on certain link. Right, this is the object. This object is defined inside my environment properties file. This is the one, delete portfolio. This is the ID of the element. So I keep all my IDs, names, XPaths, CSS selectors, everything in this file. Okay, mapped to certain key, and this particular key is mapped in the Excel file. If I use this keyword, this is a generic keyword, validate element not in list, then I give the list key as well. Corresponding to this key, there will be a value in the properties file. So in this drop down, okay, it will validate whether the element is present or not. Now suppose, taking an example, that this is the keyword select. This select keyword is responsible to select something from a drop down. If you look at the application we are automating this portfolio management, stock portfolio management application, and this is a select drop down. From the select drop down, I have to select a value, that is the portfolio name I have to select. Right over here, this is the keyword select, which is actually responsible for doing that. And this is the key, that is, this is the object. See the object column, this is the object whose XPath is written in this particular file, and this XPath is actually for this particular drop down. So basically the Excel file says that select a value from this particular drop down, and which value? Portfolio name. Now which portfolio name you have to select? The data for this test is coming from the data sheet. Delete portfolio test has got two sets of data. Okay, one it has to execute on Chrome, other Mozilla, and portfolio name is actually the name of the portfolio which you have to select from the drop down every time. So what we do is that in the keywords sheet we mention the column name over here. Right, so this test case will be executed two times. First it will be executed with this set of data, then with this set of data, and we'll be able to generate the reports as well. Okay, extent reports, which I just discussed. Now there is a run mode. What is this run mode? First of all, when we run the scripts, you might have hundreds of test cases. You distribute those test cases in different files according to test suites and all, and you have a list of test cases mentioned over here. That this is my login test, run mode is yes, that means I want to execute it. Create portfolio test, if the run mode is yes, then the keywords for this particular test will be executed, and the keywords will be executed for those data sets which have the run mode yes. If I keep the run mode to no over here, that means create portfolio test will execute two times, but actually it will execute one time, the other time it will get skipped. If I keep the run mode no over here, that means don't ever execute create portfolio test. So you can manage the execution of the test cases from your external files as well by keeping a run mode. So you can manage running selective test cases. If you don't want to do it from the Excel files, then there are other ways. You can manage it through testng.xml as well, right? But you know, there are different ways to manage different kind of problems or different kinds of requirements in the project, right? So you can devise those. Okay, I have devised it in this way right now. Alright, so run mode is at two levels. One is at the test case level, and if the run mode is yes for the test case, then the run mode is at the data level as well for the test. Okay, now as far as the implementation of this design is concerned, okay, first of all, you have a base test class. All your test case classes, right, will extend this base test class. In this scenario, I have got two test suites. Each test suite is having two Java files. All the Java files will be extending base test. All the repetitive code and all, okay, reusable code, I have kept it in my base test class. Even the data provider and all, I have kept it over here, right? And in source main Java package, we have the actual implementations. This is my driver script. This driver script will actually go and read the Excel file, and it will read the keywords of the Excel file one by one and execute them. Okay, this is my reporting package extentmanager.java, which is responsible for generating the reports. Okay, you have something for parallel execution and all. So there is a lot in this framework. I'm just giving you an overview now. If you actually look at the implementation to cover this framework, it actually took me nearly 8 hours. Fine, but yes, after 8 hours you will certainly be able to understand properly that what this framework is all about. Okay.